Hi, it's Mrs. French with your OG lesson for today for Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. First, we're going to do some words that we should already know how to read. I wanted us to practice with some of the skills we learned this week. So let's take a look at my easel. Okay. And I notice I see some compound words. These are some bigger words, so I'm looking at some ways to chunk them, like we've talked about. So I see can, not, cannot, up, hill, uphill, sun, tan, suntan, up, set, upset. So we talked about that on Monday, compound words. Okay, I'm going to go over here. It's bigger. I don't see two smaller words, but I'm going to try my VCCB strategy. Okay, so I find my vowels, U and E. I label them and then look in between. I have two C's, so that tells me I divide it right there. Supper, supper. Oh, another long one. I'm going to look for my vowels. So two syllables, consonant, two consonants in between. So divide it right here. Traffic, traffic. Find my vowels. Two consonants in between, so that's easy peasy. Dinner, dinner. Find my vowels. I have two consonants in between, so I divide. Sudden, sudden. All right, so I'm going to look down here. Well, actually, I see a suffix. I know that rule too, so I'm going to chop that suffix. The root word, nap. It doubled because it's the 1 + 1 + 1 rule, the doubling rule. Napping. I'm going to chop this suffix. Stop. Doubled the P, added the suffix. Stopping. Chop that suffix. Thin. Thinner. The doubling rule. Chop the suffix. Spin, spinner, had to double it. Okay, read them all with me. I know we're not really together, but I want you to read them. Cannot, uphill, suntan, upset, supper, traffic, dinner, sudden, napping, stopping, thinner, spinner. If you, because this could be anyway, if you have blue eyes, I want you to read this row. Cannot, uphill, suntan, upset, napping, thinner. If you have brown eyes, read this one with me. Supper, traffic, dinner, sudden, stopping, spinner. Now let's go ahead and see if we can find some of them. I'm looking for a word. We'll call this column 1 and we'll call this column 2. I know it's hard to see that too. That is the opposite of can. Cannot. I'm looking for a word in column 2 that is the opposite of going. Stopping. I'm looking for a word in column 1 that's something you might get if you're out in the sun in the summer. Suntan. I'm looking for a word in column 1 that might be what I might be doing this when I get home because I'm tired. Napping. I'm looking for a word in column 2 that is a meal. Tricked you a little bit because you could say supper or dinner. I'm looking for a word that means in column 2. That means a lot of cars and trucks, a lot of vehicles. Traffic. All right, let's see if you can read them before I cross them out. How'd you do? Okay, so now we're ready for our new learning. And today's new learning is a little different. It's a sound, but it's not a normal sound that we've learned. And it's just different. So I have this card, and as you see, it's an upside down E. We call this the Schwa symbol. Can you say that? Schwa. You won't see this E in the real world because it's just a sound that some of our vowels sometimes say. It's kind of like we think about it like they're being lazy a little bit when they say this sound. So this is just a symbol for us to learn this lazy sound of schwa. Okay, so again, this is the schwa sound, this upside down E. And it's a lazy, gentle sound. I know that sounds like short U. It's just a little more gentle, but the big thing is that it sometimes happens by other letters than U. So that's why we call this the schwa. It can also kind of be an I sound. So I want to give you some examples. It's kind of like if somebody hit you in the stomach. You hear how I kind of go, It's that sound. So think of that. You kind of get, if you get hit in the stomach, you would bend over and you would grab your stomach and you would say, ugh. Okay, that's our schwa sound. So again, what's this? Schwa, and it's a gentle So think about getting hit in the stomach. Okay. So I want to show you. It usually happens in just words that are 2 or more syllables, not usually in 1 syllable words. But we're learning about bigger, longer, more multisyllabic. It's a hard word to say. Multisyllabic words. So that's why we're going to start learning about the schwa sound. So I want you to take a look at this word. Okay, I look at it, I'm like, oh, VCCV. Yeah, sort of. So I would divide it there to help myself pronounce it. Less son. Less son. I have never heard that word. But I've heard lesson. Did you hear what happened to that O? It kind of got lazy. It did the lesson. That O is schwab. It made a different sound. Okay? So that upside down E is just what helps us remember that we schwa it. Okay? Let's see if I can think of another one. Maybe just one more. I'll keep thinking. I don't have another one right now, but that schwa is to help us understand that sometimes when you try a word, you might get there and be like, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I have one. Now, this is not a rule we've learned on how to break it up, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I know this one right now that it's, I put that line in the wrong spot. I don't want to confuse you. I went too quick. So I would say I divide it there. I would think mod L, model. Never heard that word. That doesn't sound right. It kind of sounds like the word model. It is the word model. What happened to that E is it got schwad. It's being kind of lazy. Model has that gentle sound. Do you hear that difference? I bet if we kept thinking, we could think of so many because it really does happen a lot. So when we see this card, upside down E, we know it's schwa and it says Okay, so let's go down. I do have a few more. I don't know why I said I didn't, but I do. So let's look at this word. I'm going to write it over here a little bit so it's easier to see. Okay. Oh, this is our VCCV rule that we just learned yesterday. Ribbon. Ribbon. Never heard that. We got to schwa that O. Ribbon. Ribbon. The O got schwad. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, this is one of those VCCB. So I'm going to divide it. Gallon. Gallon. Nope. It got schwad. Gallon. Gallon. Like a gallon of milk. It's a measurement of liquid. Okay, let's go down and do another one. I could probably only do one more row down here without moving an easel back. How about I slide my computer back a little bit? There, now you see it's P's, 2 P's. Okay, it's VCCV. So I divide it. Happen. 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 It got schwab, didn't it? That E got schwab. Happen. All right, let's see what the next one is. Oh, another VCCV. Oh, I wrote through the D a little bit. Sorry about that. Sudden. 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 No. What happened to that E? It gets schwab. Sudden. Sudden. Hear the difference? It just gets that slight little change to make the word sudden. I have a couple more, and I think if I squeeze them in up here, we will be okay. So let me do another one. Oh, man, learning that strategy yesterday helped me so much. Signal. 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 It got schwad. It got schwad. Let's do one more. One more as we go into winter. You'll understand why if you don't know this word yet in a minute. So I'm dividing it. Sandal. 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 You mean sandal? That's why I said going into winter. I love sandals and I can't wear them anymore. Sandal. It got schwad. That second A got schwad. And it says So we learned today that sometimes some vowels get schwab. And this is our symbol when we're talking about it in OG. Schwa is okay, just that gentle sound. Okay, now we're going to do our SRS. So if you don't have yours, go get it and pause the video. Our first sound is, look at my mouth, S, S. Our next sound, J, J, keyword bridge. Our next sound, ing, ing. And our last sound, a, keyword play. Okay, we should have written S, D, G, E, I, N, G, and A, Y. All right, let's go down to review words to spell. First one, look at my mouth. Brushed, brushed. What's the root word? Brush. Let's finger spell. B-r-u-sh. Brush. The word is brushed. What's the suffix you're going to add to make it brushed? Next word, look at my mouth. Melted. Melted. What's the root word? Melt. M-e-l-t. Melt. The word is melted. Add the suffix to make it melted. Our next word, hunting. Hunting. What's the root word? Hunt. H-u-n-t. Hunt. The word is hunting. Add the suffix to make it hunting. And the last one, bravely. Bravely. What's the root word? Brave. Let's finger spell. B-r-a-v. The word is bravely. Add the suffix. Okay, you should have written brushed, B-r-u-s-h-e-d, melted, M-e-l-t-e-d, hunting, H-u-n-t-i-n-g, and bravely, B-r-a-v-e-l-y. We didn't have to drop that E because we weren't adding a vowel suffix. We were adding a consonant suffix. So we didn't need to worry about the dropping E or doubling or any of that. Okay, no new phoneme really. I'm not going to have you write an upside down E. So we just know that. We just know we learned about how sometimes letters get schwalled, right? They get that Okay, so we're going to not practice new words either. I had some of those. We're not going to practice that right now. I think it was better to just talk about how to read those. And the more you read, the more you write, the more you'll be able to know when a word has a schwalled letter. You'll recognize it. But we'll get ready and we'll do our new memory word. Okay, so we're going down to our new memory word. And that's kind of funny that I just said that because our new memory word is new. This is the one that means opposite of old. So that's what we call a homophone when we have words that sound the same, but they mean different things. And the other new is like past tense of knowing in your head, and that's K-N-E-W. So this one is opposite of old. It's something that hasn't been used before. It's new. Okay, so let's skywrite new. N-E-W, new. Again, N-E-W, new. One more time. N-E-W, new. All right, onto your paper. Look up here. First letter, N, write it. Next, look, E, write it. Last, look, W, write it. Now write it 3 more times and spell it as you're writing it. N-E-W, new. N-E-W, new. N-E-W, new. Okay. If you're not done, pause it. Otherwise, let's take a picture of this with our brain. Close our eyes and let's skywrite new. N-E-W, new. Now don't look at your paper. Don't look up here. I've already hidden it. And see if you can write it. So cover up your other ones and write the word new. Check your work. If you got it, kiss your brain. All right, we don't normally do this in this, but I feel like we need to run through some of our words. So I'm just going to run through them. I'm going to read them too. You be reading them with me. If there's one you don't recognize, then it's good for you to hear it and see it again. Father, said, large, hour, Oops. Cold. Right. Cold. Now. Should. Over. I'm kind of pausing so that you can hopefully say it first. Then you know which ones you know really well and which ones maybe you need to work on more. Where. Out. There. Would. Work. School. Could. Also. It's hard to see. People. Could. No. Thought. Come. Only. Who. Word. Very. About. Then. Because. 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 Study. Okay, on your paper, I want you to spell could. Could old Uncle Larry dance? I don't know. And next one, because. My class knows that song. Okay, let's check your work. Could, COULD, because, BECAUSE. All right, let's go down to the sentence. I do not mind if you sit on the beach. Oh, bench. Though we could do beach. Let's keep it beach. I do not mind if you sit on the beach. Let's count the words. I do not mind if you sit on the beach. Oh my gosh, 10 words. Beach, key word for the E sound is meet. Pause it if you need to finish your sentence. Okay, so let's check for cops. We should have a capital letter at the beginning, the I. Order. I do not mind if you sit on the beach. Punctuation. It's a telling sentence. You need a period. Spelling. MIND. And I said the key word was that meet. So EA was making the E sound. All right, great job today. See you later, alligator.